Western Union.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Imagine I have my phone in my hand and I'm trying to remember what I picked it up to do. Jeez, old age ain't pretty at all, man. I swear. It's like I just went completely blank. I was sitting there just looking at my phone and I'm like, what I pick up my phone to do again? Only to remember that it was to share the life. Old age is, I swear, getting older is fun, but sometimes it's no fun at all. You be looking for stuff, and lately I think I find myself doing that, going around the house looking for stuff, and it's like I can't remember, and the stuff is right in front of me, and I'm looking for it. Boy, I tell you, after one time is the next for real. Listen, for those of you who are mothers, or aunties, or big sisters, listen, re-emphasize. Even if it sounds like you're an old cassette player, keep on saying the same thing over and over to your young sisters. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy your youth. Don't be in such a rush. And I know our parents told us that when we were growing up, but we just be like, whatever, you had your chance, stop trying to live my life, walk your life and run mine, you know? And it's only when we got older we really were like, boy, I should have listened to my mother when she said, one, man ain't going no way. Enjoy yourself. Man will always be there. Boys will always be there. Enjoy your youth. Go to school, get an education, sort it yourself. Man always there. She out and stop stressing people. You had your time, you live your life. That's what we used to say, right? But she was right. We got older, and man ain't going no way. And we spend so much time focusing on relationships instead of enjoying our youth, hanging out with your girlfriends, going on dates, not committing. What are you doing at 18 years, but you're in a committed relationship? 16 and 17 and committed relationship. Encourage your daughters, your sisters, your little friends to enjoy their youth. Going on dates does not mean coitus or engaging in sexual activities. We go to a spot, have some, according to my friend, have some drinks. I've been listening to too many of these lives. Have some drinks, eat, chill, enjoy each other's company, drop them in my mother place. The end. Don't feel pressured because Miss Jane Big Head son take you out that you have to give him something in return. No, you don't. You don't have to pay for nothing in kind. If he asks you out on a date, you go enjoy the date. And if he start to act up, make sure you have a little change in your pocket so you could pay for your share and bounce. So you're not obligated. Stop feeling pressured to think that sex is some sort of payment because somebody did something for you. Or to Big Head son start to pressure you. No, stop. You don't have to. Let us start teaching our younger. It's okay to say no and mean it. And leave the table. And don't think that is a payment. Don't let nobody Big Head son pressure you into thinking I have to repay you because you took me out. I have to repay you in kind. No. We need to seriously get to that place. You know? And yes, sometimes we used to say they used to talk in my head. Boy, I wish I had somebody to talk in my head right now. You know? Morning, Gail. What up, sis? I had to message you yesterday. I forgot. Yeah, I tell you, these days if I don't write things down, I swear, I don't remember nothing. Anyways, guys, good morning and welcome to the live. Yeah, Gail, so you need to start telling Nana to learn to say no because you ain't about to. Then again, Nana is a different breed. Nana is like years ahead of her age, so nobody can begin chiding about to take advantage of her in any way, shape, or form. Morning, sis, and morning, everybody else logging on. So nice of you guys to join us for another show. Now, today we have a very, very serious conversation. And I'm kind of happy these days the turn the ladies' room is taking in terms of some of these situations, even though it might seem like man and woman, but there's also lessons that we're learning. And we have takeaways from these conversations apart from oh man and oh man, lady man. This one in particular, I am very happy to have a conversation on. And I'm seeing some responses from some of these problems that are very, very side-eye. Like, you have to watch. There's some people that, you follow you and they comment on your stuff. But when they say certain things, you gotta kind of watch them side-eye and be like, based on the things they say. Because, for instance, this situation this morning, right? Hold on, let me just share with this person. Hold on, guys, let me just share. Why telling me scan nothing? Bear with me, guys. Just bear with me a second. It's like your fingers move quickly, but your brain is in. Why is it telling me to scan? I don't want to scan nothing. I'm trying to share. What are you telling me to scan? I don't ask you to share nothing. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, this is a serious situation because, and especially, I'm not too sure if you guys are aware that Grenada at one time ranked very high in the world on the list for sexual offenses. Rape, etc., abuse, etc. We ranked very, very high. I think we're almost in the top 5 countries where sexual offenses and sexual stuff top the list. Yeah? One says they like the blue robe. Yeah, I'm chilly. Yeah, the blue robe is a part of the room now. Alright, get used to it. So, let me just share this one with you. She's 35 and her boyfriend is 30. They've been together for 4 years. And basically, she said, I said no to sex, and he got angry and tried to physically force himself on me. He told me that I should do it just for him, even if I'm not in the mood. So she wants to know if this is grounds for a breakup. Backtrack to Saturday morning, she said they were lying in bed at around 2 a.m. or so. And she was ready to sleep and not in a sexual mood at all. She said he had come over from a friend's place a while ago and was drunk and, in the mood, and then asked her for sex. And she said no, that she's tired and not in the mood. But he kept pressuring her, saying that she should do it just for him, even if she's not in the mood. And when he saw I wouldn't let him, he got very angry, called me stubborn, boring, the B word, all sorts of things. Said I never want to have sex anymore and he hates having to beg me for it every time. Then he got on top of her, physically restrained her, and tried to pull her pants down. But instead of giving it at this point like usual, she said he forced himself on her physically. He has done that before while drunk, and she fought back. And she got so angry that she punched his face. Not hard, but hard enough to show him that she's serious, and told him that she doesn't feel safe. She went on further to say, I know that he's sexually frustrated, but I think it's no excuse for his selfish behavior. Not sure how I feel about potentially marrying this person who prioritizes his pleasure over mine. What should I do? Now, people seem to be of the notion that if you're in a relationship, people seem to think that rape is with a stranger. My friend, that is rape. It doesn't mean, because people seem to think that if you're not in a relationship with a person, that is, and they do that, that is rape. No. There are people who seem to think, okay, well, I'm married, so you're not supposed to say no to your husband. There are people who seem to think that you are in a relationship, you should not say no. Now, women are wired differently. And if y'all men know that by now, I don't know when you're going to know that. Sex is more for the emotional thing for us. This connection. It's just, for y'all, you don't need to have any connection. You don't need to even like a person for you to have sex with the person. For women, on the other hand, it is more of that deep, intimate connection that your whole body, your mind, everything has to be in it for it to be enjoyable. There are women who will just do it and do it because, and for that same reason, because you keep pressuring and you don't understand the word no, even though in a relationship, you would keep pressuring the woman until she gives in. But she gives in with her body. But sometimes there's a lot of work you have to do to get her in the mood. And you know what I mean when I say work? Because when you know a woman is into it, you know. You don't have to ask. You know she's into it. But when you have to start pulling for other things to use to make it pleasurable, you know she's not into it. So it's okay for you to, at any time, any place, but women, sometimes things are stressing you, things are bothering you. There's, you're just not in the mood. So why is it that you have to or you should do it just for him, even if you're not in the mood? That is rape. The fact that you said no to him and he still persisted and physically restrained you and tried to pull your pants down. Y'all could be in a relationship for 15, 20 years. That is rape. The fact that you physically had to fight with him to get off of you, that is rape. You don't need to make excuses for it. It is what it is. Saying that you know he's sexually frustrated, that is not your problem. Go get some Vaseline and go fix yourself. No need to force somebody because they're not in the mood. Renee had a very, very good response to it. And I'd love to hear how the men feel about this morning. We are in the 21st century, no longer in the donkey years back in the day when people seemed to think that a woman belonged, or you were property, you belonged to a man. We could be in a relationship, but this is still mine. This is not yours, and you not mine. I am still entitled to say no, yes, of my own free will. I should not be forced. And if you think because we're in a relationship and you're in the mood and I'm not, that I should just do it for you, it reeks of selfishness, because it's supposed to be about the two of us, not just about you. So to you saying if this is grounds for a breakup, and according to you, this isn't the first time. This is not the first time. Women in the audience, picture this, right? Let's be open and honest. Sometimes, as much as you love your partner, your significant other, like I said, there are things sometimes that, you're stressed about: work, life, family. And there are times that as much as you love him, you're just not in the mood. And And I'm sure we've all done that at some point or doing it at some point. And you just give in because, you know what? Let me just give him so he can stop talking in my head. And honestly, it just does not feel right. You stay and you lay there and you just bear it in silence. But you feel, when you're through it, you feel this kind, it's sort of cringe. You're like, y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, when it's done, it's like, it's like, even though you love the person and you allow them to continue to go ahead and do it without you being in the mood, you feel uncomfortable, for want of a better word. I felt that way. Like you didn't want to, but he keep persisting. And you're like, you know what? And he be like, oh, just a 2 minutes, oh gosh, just give me a 2 level. You know? Give me just a 2 minutes, no long thing, no. And you're like, all right, hurry up. And that is like the longest 2 minutes ever. It's like you lay there and you literally counting 1, 2, 3 till you get to 60 and then you start over again. 2 minutes up. And in your mind it's up. And it's like he's still there. You feel so, it's just like it's so uncomfortable after. And you look at this person and it's almost like you don't like them in the moment. It's like you don't even like the person. You love them, but you don't like them in that moment after they're through. Because it's like, you're supposed to listen to me the first time. I said I wasn't in the mood. I don't feel like it. At least be more understanding. It's not like it's a regular thing. So if this one time I'm not in the mood, well, if I could be not in the mood for the week, I'm just not in the mood. Try to understand, well, why aren't you in the mood? What's going on? How can I help you? But it's not, almost as if, you know, your only concern is sex. As long as I get it, I couldn't care less what you're feeling, your mood. That is your business. Fix your mood after. There's no, okay, well, let's talk about it. I notice you sort of been not in the mood lately. What's going on? You okay? Anything you want to, is anything bothering you? How can I help? No. It's always about let me enjoy myself, and that's the problem with your mood. And it goes both ways. Hate it or like it, sex is an important part of a relationship. Very important. It's not the only thing, but it's an important part. And if you are in a relationship and you're not feeling or having any sorts of sexual urges where that person is concerned, you probably need to ask a question. Is the fire still burning? Is there a problem? Am I sexually attracted to this person? Am I still attracted to him? If it's always a constant no, you also have to take his feelings into consideration. And if you're no longer attracted to him, then what's the point? You're literally spitting top in mud. You're going to continue to feel like you're being raped, and he's going to feel like he has to take without you consenting. But going back to her question, it is rape. Married, single, once you say no, more, no, and the person continues and literally holds you down, and you're fighting them and they're fighting you back, that is rape. Sharon says the worst sex ever is when you beg for it. There's no passion, no fun. I could never get up for that. Maybe I'm different. Listen, some men get off on different things. What will turn somebody off? Trust me, it'll probably turn another man on. Men, we are weird. Someone says that's not just grounds for breakup, that's rape. Where are the men this morning? Y'all have toothpaste in your mouth or something? All your mouthwash. Spit it out quick and come in the room. They all have all your mouth full this morning. Someone says Dump, he's raping her and he's going to keep on doing it. Eddie from Florida. Big up yourself, Eddie. Let me hear what this person here. Oh, there they come. All right.
Hey everyone, good morning.
Morning.
That guy should count himself lucky, because if the young lady wanted, she could have pressed charges. And she was asking if that's wrong to break up the relationship. Yes, of course. Run with it. You know, you don't deserve that. I mean, if you say no is no, there should be no physical involvement. If you say no to try
Call on the line. Hold a sec, yeah?
to pull down your clothes or anything like that. So she just gotta just get out of that relationship and look for, maybe take a while and, you know, relax and get herself together and move on. So yeah, that is rape.
All right. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Runes. Good morning.
Good morning, B. I'd love to hear your take on this.
Girl, this kind of triggered me this morning because, and I was just going through the feed and I saw Renee DeRiggs.
Oh
I
my
saw his
gosh,
response,
he had
and
me.
yes, that kind of lift up the hairs on the back of my neck. Because I'll tell you a story, and I'll just try to keep it as anonymous as I can. Well, the people are no longer around, so when I worked in the media, when I was forefront doing Good Morning Grenada on GBN, there was a morning we were talking about rape, and there was I can't remember what case it was, but there was a big national event where someone had gotten raped. I think it was a child, but we were talking about rape in general and all of that. And after the program, I received a call from a lady who said she needed help. And I said, well, how can I help you? And she went on to tell me she's a teacher. She and her husband are born-again Christians, and he basically rapes her every night. So I'm like, like there's no romance involved. She said he was very well endowed, and it was no romantic. There was nothing romantic. He wasn't like, foreplay and all of that was missing. And she was, she just felt every night she was being constantly raped. She didn't have the zeal. Whenever she had the zeal, he was just taking it. And she was really, over the course of conversations for me to be a couple of weeks, we met one day. And I mean, if you saw this beautiful woman, but the light in her eyes was gone, Aruna. I mean, you could see she was suffering through this thing. And what was even more painful for her is the fact that she had gone to the people in the church, pastor, elders, yada, yada.
Don't get
And
me
these
started.
people are telling her, it is your husband. You have to be submissive. In short, we kind of hooked up with someone from social development. Then we hooked up with a police officer. And we all got together and we got her to escape Grenada because it got crazy. It's now 5 years. She lives in Canada with her family because most of her relatives were in Canada. She got out of the country. He didn't even know, tried to make all trouble for the police, but that did not happen. But I'm just saying all of this to say many women in Grenada, many women in Grenada are facing this. We are just taught to lie down and take it. It. We have to take it. No, we don't. And there's no romance. There's no love. I mean, the penetration is just a final thing, I mean, it's just a final thing. But men just have women. It's just like this video that's circulating now with these young students. Even the young boy and the girl, they don't understand how to have sex, how to make love.
Nope.
The child is just lying there and he's just going at it, banging like it's an old piece of iron. It's just sad.
And that is a culture that we're living in, and that
yes,
is
but we have
trying to
have,
normalize that, and it's not.
Yes,
it's
we
not
have
okay.
to have the conversations. We have to elevate each other. We have to educate each other, and we have to talk to our men, raise our boys better, show more love, encourage them to be more open, warmer. That's only when it would change. But yeah, this conversation really triggered me this morning and just got me to that point. But kudos,
Thanks so much, B.
Yeah,
Always a
later,
pleasure.
man.
All
All
righty.
right,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Listen, this is so much. This is just like the tip of the iceberg because I'm getting messages now, and like Brenda says, there's a lot of women in Grenada going through this. Somebody just I got this message this morning. Good morning. This topic is a trigger for me. My first experience of this was with my soon-to-be ex-husband. His thing was we are married and I'm supposed to have sex anytime he wanted. I got raped so many times. I don't understand why I kept silent about this. I felt and sometimes feel so dumb. I am thankful that I freed myself from that bondage. And it followed with a whole lot of tears. Good morning.
Good morning. Things like that will trigger a response from me. I don't know if you want to call me elderly, middle-aged, whatever it is. One, I do not like generalization. So for it to say men are like that, that really and truly, because I always, one thing I do it on the based on the people I know, which may just be people like me, my age, but I do not know a whole lot about younger men and whatever. A situation like this, one, you have to know how regular, how long is that continuing. If you have no feeling for him over a protracted period of time, get out of that relationship. I will tell you something. No sex in a relationship is not a relationship. The single biggest connection in any relationship, the single biggest connection is sex, the intimacy of sex. That is how I see it. I am not talking about, and I don't want to use any language that is not radio friendly. It's not like humping and that sort of thing. That is not sex. I am talking about love making and that sort of thing. There's nothing else in a marriage as a singular thing that is more intimate, that is closer, that bring it together more. The mere fact that you feel that way, like, I get the impression that that is a regular occurrence where she's not. Is it that he drink rum all the time, come home drunk? I do not expect no one to stand. I hate the scent of alcohol at anybody's breath. Right, rum, cigarette, whatever. I cannot see how you could tolerate. I don't know how women tolerate men sleeping alongside them.
Smell alcohol is the worst feeling in the world. That smell, that old rum smell and breath.
What?
Listen.
According to mom, when mom was alive, she said there's nothing worse in the world that smell. A man must smell a rum. And you know, everything from mom and them was rum, be it beer, whatever. The scent is horrendous from what I gather. So I could understand her nothing. But if it is a regular occurrence, even when he's normal, you do not have the urge for that time to get out of such a relationship. Is it rape? It is. No is no once they mean it. Once you see, sometimes you say no and you'll watch them one day, I'm really be. So you touch and thing, and in a minute or so they're acquiesced and they're more active than you. That is okay. Because of them. But once no, with a meaningful no and push off and that sort of thing, that is rape. She shouldn't be staying in that relationship. But on the same token, someone married, like what the lady just spoke about, they were married and apparently doing that every night. He probably don't know any better. You know, I used to hear men talking about, I give her when I give her, she ball. Why do you want somebody balling? I do not want anybody balling because of anything I do to them.
It's supposed to be pleasurable. What are you bawling about?
Well, that is my problem. I want you to tell me. I want you to ask for more. I'm enjoying this. I'm thinking, I don't want you bawling. So that is rape. I do not think there is always a slaughter. And don't say that women have sex because I feel all the time. These modern day people, from what I gather, a lot of people have sex for material thing and there's no intimacy involved. It's more like
I was talking about like when you're in a relationship with somebody, like, you know,
right,
not just like the random, because there are people, you know, who do that and get paid for it, and I'm sure there's no feelings involved. It's just a job, you know. So
some women, they don't get paid off the thing. They get a hairdo, they get a Dexter Dobbs ticket, or whatever, and there's no feeling there. Mm-hmm. But men and women should take the sex act as far as I'm concerned, I see that as sacred, notwithstanding how much years I'm doing it.
Gotcha.
There is a sort of ceremony to it. And like a gentleman once told me, now alive, I want to call him an old man, he's in his 80s. He tells me penetration is the icing on the cake. He said the actual cake is what you do with your fingers, your hands, and your mouth before. So that is the last thing, the penetration. So that is when everything is prepared.
And for most women, it's more, that part is more for y'all. We enjoy everything before it. You know, it's more sensual. It's more, you know, you're more into it. You know, you connect with your body, and that part more men are into that part. But hey.
No, believe you me, you have some men that love. I love to feel the lady reacting to my ministrations. Mm-hmm. It gives me great pleasure. When the lady gets pleasure, I think I get I get more pleasure.
So it seems as though the elder men, like, you need to come forward some more and coach the younger men, because it's rough out here. I
try to tell young men that this thing about your hump and your ram, and you go away. I say that is mating, right? That is.
More fathers need to have this conversation with their sons, man, and teach
Yes,
them about
yes,
it.
that is
Get
the problem.
some resource materials, go online, find stuff to teach them about a woman's body, and
And
not
your
just
fingers,
about,
man,
yeah.
your fingers, your mouth. You do so. There's so much thing you could do other than that final thing. When you reach there, then they are basically begging you for that as the final thing. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic on the radio,
Gotcha.
but you have a couple of. Yeah, you're supposed to have a few orgasms even before you penetrate.
Gotcha.
I don't know if young people know that. Or I'm not saying only young people because
We need to have some sex ed classes.
yes, we're supposed to do that. We are a little bit closed in society, I think, to that cause men to believe just what they hear from the elder men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go down and man say what I chose some whatever the W
And
word
they
and
get
that.
it. Gotcha.
You know?
All right, then. Thanks so much. Appreciate you as always. All right, bye-bye. And someone is saying, what about women who do the same, constantly demanding sex when their man is not in the mood? Same applies. Men can also say they feel raped. Yes, someone say, well, you got your business to be in a particular position. So, no. If he says no, it's also the same applies. At least that's what I think. It's across the board. Brent says, just this morning I hear a fella telling another one, I mashed it up last night. I don't know what is to mash up. I honestly don't. It's like the it's like a badge of honor. Who could mash up more? There's no mashing up there. You're mashing up yourself. You could slip a disc and hurt yourself. But y'all, and then that comes back to people doing the act are not and afraid to speak about it. And that is something I always say. How can you be so intimate? You can't get any more intimate with another human than that. And you're afraid to say what you like, what you don't like, what pleases you, what don't please you. But you just they go through the motions, and it goes both ways. Because people seem to think it's a one-size-fits-all. No, it's not. Every two women is not the same. What works for Jane may not work for Jill. What works for Jill may not work for Jane. And vice versa. So how are you so intimate with a person and you're afraid to say to that person, you rather massage their little egos than say to him, I'm not into that. That's not my speed. I don't like that. But you continue to be in this dreadful sexual relationship, and then you're complaining to your girlfriends, oh, he ain't do this and he ain't. How can you not speak to the person you're laying next to, but you can speak to another person? Doesn't make sense. But getting back on track, let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So
Hold on.
Morning time.
Hey, morning.
Yeah. So off the bat, without any apologies or whatsoever, this boyfriend of yours, 150% infinitely wrong for physically forcing himself or attempting to physically force himself on you that night. Alright, having said that, I will also say this, that as a person, I believe in prevention, right? Now, the young lady has stated that he has physically physically forced the point already, and she gave in, right? Now, I mean, maybe in hindsight, she could understand that it was leading up to something like that. At some point, she would say, look, now, no is no, and we live in it like that, right? So I think she should have had a conversation with him the first time it happened, and when she gave in, had that conversation when he's sober, because she again said it happened when he's drunk, right? Had that conversation with him when he's sober, a serious sit down with him, and get that sorted out, because it happened more than once, based on what I read, how I read in interpreting her situation. So let him check himself. At this point, you're absolutely serious about it. So it's either you make a decision to press the charges to end the relationship, but something has to take precedence, because it may become something normal to him, because he wants what he wants, and if you figure that you giving into it that way, that is what you will continue to do.
As you say, what you allow is what continues, right? If you're not happy about it, you're not pleased about it, then do something about it.
Good morning. Not because we're men, we'll take anything we see. All right, and well, I can only speak for me, but I don't really mix myself with three or two and four females at the same time. It's very skeptical about my body and who I share it with. So I mean, if I don't like somebody and they flooding around me, they coming and they putting themselves on me, even self when we get down to business. As long as I don't like you and I don't feel it for you, then I'd never get a reaction for you. Hmm. Yeah, just like that. And I mean, that's straight up red flag. No guy should force himself on a woman. When she say no, leave it alone. You could be a wife, you could be a fiance. When she says no, leave it alone. Go outside, go in the bathroom and make a little swank or something. You dig? Or you dug it. Right?
Got you.
And this is the funny thing, eh? So this happened to two of my ex. So at one time they came and they said that, oh, they're tired, they don't want to have sex and etc. etc. So I reeled down in my mood. So I just go from a rage and I say I tired too, yeah, I'm gonna sleep. I understand that, yeah, I had a long day, thing. Yeah, I got talking. So what tired from? Where I come out and this and that. No, you don't go and sleep and thing. If I didn't say that, it's like I never got like some. I mean, different people, different scenarios, different ways of it happening. People think different and react different. But in general, I mean, you should never have to have a female bawling and crying out, no, she don't want to have this. You could be a wife, you could be, it don't matter. You don't, nobody owns a woman, nobody owns a man. Because same person you're playing, you're owning, you could get in trouble for, you can end up in Richmond Hill for that. Alright? When it comes to the law is the law.
Thanks so much. I'm happy again the men are actually chiming in on this. I really appreciate the fact that you guys understand that. So that means you need to pull in your little brothers, pull in your partners. When you are sitting and discussing about mashing up, those of you who know better should teach them. And tell them, but this mash up thing, it's not about that. But it's like everybody just wants to be so rough, and so it's like the rougher you are to them, it's so, like it shows how macho you are as a man, and that makes you a man, that you have to behave like King Kong, beat your chest and act as though you're in the jungle. We have a lot of learned behaviors that we need to unlearn, and like I said, mothers have to do their part, fathers have to do their part, women have to do their part, men have to do their part. You cannot be involved in a relationship with somebody and afraid to express yourself. Afraid to say what you like, what you don't like, out of fear of, you're going to hurt that person's feelings or whatever the case might be. You're responsible for what you say, not for how they feel. So you're sitting there, and like they said, the saying goes, what you accept is what will continue. You're sitting there, and as the previous male caller said, you allowed it the first time. Yeah, you allow him the first time. So much so he's gotten comfortable and continues to do it without you saying anything. So now that your back is against the wall, figuratively speaking, you're asking if this is grounds for breakup. Ask yourself this question: how do you feel? But before I go, I really want to read this one from Rene DeRiggs. I think he just nailed it. And he says, let me unpack this. Here is what I predict. There will be some in the comments, especially men, who will say she elsewhere. Others will say, as a woman, they give their man whenever he wants just to avoid confusion. This situation, he says, is so common in Grenada, you won't believe. I know women who men been raping them for years. That's what he's doing. It's the big R word. And we as a society have to start acknowledging that we have too many of those kind of men in our midst. The biggest turnoff for me is when a woman vibes is not more than or equal to mine when it's time for sex. If she gives the slightest vibe that she's not into it, I don't want it. So I can't understand how some men will hear no and still want to go ahead. Sometimes women are not in the mood. Do you think when you come home as a drunken, blubbering, it's attractive? Anyway, you can rape your wife or girlfriend. For those who didn't know, it's RAPE. Whoever woman is in that situation, think about it. How does it make you feel? Yeah?
Yeah. I just want to address two more things. One is that of the mashup talk, right? To my knowledge, I mean to say, when men sit on the block and we talk about the mashup thing, it's not necessarily that we damage a woman or we had a woman in a painful mood. Sometimes it's just a slang that we use. It's that it was a good evening, you understand, and we get through, or the woman enjoy it, but we doesn't speak to one another like that. We would say we mash it up. Yes, I get through, I do thing. I just want to put it that maybe some other men have that in their mind, but generally speaking, that is what I know it to be on the block. It's just that yes, we get through. Secondly, women really, really, really needs to communicate their desires and their preferences to men. Men operate in the emotion, that point, that situation, that vibes right there. You understand? So when we build up our expectations to get it on, and then the woman change their mind, or they say, okay, it's not working out for me. Please just educate us as to what it is works, what it is doesn't work, because we as human beings don't always know we own selves. Make it worse for somebody else to know you for you. You understand? So please try and help us a little bit more. We don't know. Sometimes you don't even know. So it's a work in progress.
Thank you so much. You guys are on point this morning, I'm not gonna lie. Shelley says a man sort of control when under the oil is not a good sign. It is a red flag of California king proportions. Not even the pets are safe. Stay away from him. Somebody must inject humor, right? But Brian says forced himself on you. Woman, no matter what the cause is of his sexual frustration, it is not and never will be an excuse for rape. Leave before it gets worse. Yeah? And there are a lot of materials out there on intimate partner violence that women who are in that same predicament, going through the same thing, can research. Yes, you're not the only one. There are hundreds of women going through the same thing, intimate partner violence. And there are others, and there are a lot of folks who seem to think that it is normal and it's okay. Well, we're here to tell you today that it's not. If you find yourself in such a position, you need to start questioning yourself. Why am I accepting this? What am I really doing here? If you've tried having the conversation with your partner and no changes are being made, then you probably have to be the one to make the change yourself. If they're not respectful about your wishes, about your feelings when it comes to things like that, and they regard you as their property, then you need to ask yourself another question. One of the male callers said previously, women don't belong to men, men don't belong to women. We're not each other's property to do with what we wish or do as we like to them. We could be together for 50 years, and if I say no, today, it's today. Don't be like, oh, well, she say no, but she mean yes. Take it for no. Let her then initiate and indicate that, you know what, no, I was just playing. Let her be the one to tell you that. Don't take it to mean, oh, well, she was just saying no, but I know it's yes she means. She's just playing hard to get. The minute she says stop, that is her safe word. And if she says stop and no, stop immediately. If she initiates it after that and indicates to you that she's playing or whatever, then you may proceed if you so desire or if you still wish to. But the minute you hear no, stop. Some men immaturely equate love to sex, and I have had an ex who used that as an excuse. And no would turn him into trying to jump me in the middle of sleep and acting dumb. In hindsight, with finding my worth and value, I wish I could have done things differently and stood up for myself. Not accepted it and left the relationship early because Forced intimacy is not a relationship, and that's not respect. And that's all the time we have, guys. Man, I wish we had more time to continue this conversation, because it's really, it's a rewarding conversation today, and I'm happy that so many men came up and, checked in and responded and gave their 2 cents. It made it even more so much more better. I hope we can have another conversation regarding this, because there's way more women going through this than you think. Some just don't have the voice to speak. But I hope after listening to the program this morning that you will find your voice and you will speak up. No is no, and it's not okay. Thank you so much to our friends at Western Union for powering up the room this morning. Thank you so much to all my callers. Thank you so much to those of you on the live. Thank you to those of you listening. I know you're going to have your own little discussions. Some probably would not even like me more than they don't today, but that is okay. I'm eating brown down, same speed today. All right? Bye. Catch you guys tomorrow for the final one for the week.
Ladies Room comes to you compliments. Renwick Thompson and Company Limited, agents for Western Union.
2 times 2 is